guys, how you going? I hope you're all doing really well and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to get back on track after you've had a break from your exercise or your training, or even just a break in your routine. Whether it be down to illness or injury, maybe a holiday, or life just getting in the way, we've all experienced times where we haven't been able to train or we've had to break our normal routine, and it definitely has an impact on you, and you kind of feel after it when you're starting to get back into it that you've lost all your progress or that it's going to be a hard slog to get back to where you were. Recently I was unwell for around 6 weeks and I was unable to train, so I definitely noticed regressions in my fitness and my strength. I noticed regressions in the way I looked as well, so my body has changed quite a bit, and also in my mindset as well. So I thought it would be a fantastic opportunity to take you guys along with me on my journey to getting back on track. Okay, so let's start by taking this back 7 or 8 weeks ago. So we were about 2 months into quarantine here in the UK, and that hasn't super affected my training too much because I do a lot of calisthenics. It's actually been really good for me. It's allowed me to focus more on my bodyweight moves and just learning the skills that maybe I'd let sort of slip by the wayside a little bit. So I'd been doing that for a couple of months, and I was honestly in a place where my body felt fantastic. I felt super functional. I didn't have any injuries. My body aesthetically was starting to look good and strong, and my skills were getting much better. So I started getting super exhausted every single day. I was starting to lack so much energy that I was struggling to walk and get out of bed and just do the normal things that I was able to do, and it got to the point where I just couldn't exercise at all. So even going for a 3-kilometer walk was out of the question. My appetite was all over the place. There'll be some days where I couldn't bear the thought of eating, and then there was days where I was just ravenously hungry and I just had to constantly eat just to keep my blood sugar levels up. Alongside that, I completely lost my appetite for coffee, and I drink quite a lot of coffee, which is probably something that I need to cut out a little bit, but I drink a lot of coffee, so I went from drinking maybe 5 coffees a day to absolutely none because I couldn't bear it, and I think the caffeine deprivation really hit me hard. So there was no particular reason why I was ill, and we kind of all just put it down to the fact that I was in burnout. I do tend to work quite a lot, and I was working at that point. I was getting up at 6, I'd be working flat out until 8 or 9 p.m. at night, and I just really wasn't giving myself the rest that I required, which is a good lesson for everyone out there, that rest is super important. So it does get to a point where if you don't give your body the rest it requires, it will force you to stop, and that's kind of what happened for me. So at first I found that really, really hard to accept. For me, when I get injured or if I have to stop, I really struggle with my mindset, especially for the first sort of half a week or first week of it. I just feel so guilty that I'm not doing anything, especially because this is my job, and not only that, but because I enjoy it, it's almost like what I enjoy is being taken away, and I almost resent it. Once I accepted that I needed to listen to my body, I really tried to tune into what it was asking me to, and I gave it what it wanted. So plenty of rest, and I tried to eat whatever I felt like, whenever I felt like, and that was basically carbs. All I ate was carbs. It's the only thing I had appetite for. So we're talking cereal, bagels, crumpets, toast, sweet potato, literally that's all I would eat, just carbs. Everything I ate was orange and yellow and brown for probably about at least a month. So normally I eat very intuitively, and again I just listen to my body and what it wants, but I really love eating a massive variety of fruit and vegetables and colours as well. So when I usually make my dinner, it's just absolutely jam-packed full of colours on a plate. So for me, that was the real change. It was going from eating nutrient-rich and varied foods to just eating bread all the time. So that, along with the reduction in caffeine, was really knocking my energy levels. So for me, I'm so accustomed to moving and to being active throughout the day that if I go from being active for maybe half of the day to doing absolutely nothing, I really, really notice it in my body, and everything starts to ache and kind of fall apart. So it got to a point where that started to pass and I started to feel better, and there was a particular week where I felt like I had the energy to train again. My appetite was starting to come back, and even my appetite for coffee was starting to come back, which was a real winner for me. But as I started to train again and started to move about, I noticed that there had been major regressions in my strength and my fitness, and also I looked different as well. So I'd gone from being relatively lean and feeling super strong to not being like that. And so begins the journey to get back on track. So I have been through this process so many times where I've had an injury or a setback and it's put me out for a while. Last year I injured my back, which put me out for a few months. I fell off a bouldering wall at the beginning of last year and hyperextended my elbow, which meant I couldn't even bend my arm for 3 months. And then prior to that, when I was in Australia and I initially got injured at the casino, I was out for 4 months completely, like no training. So I've been through this before and I've always struggled primarily with my mindset around getting back on track. Now I know every single one of you will be able to relate in some way where you've had a setback, and when you get to the end of that setback you realize that maybe something has changed, you've regressed a little bit, and you just feel frustrated or guilty or angry or just disappointed, and it kind of feels like a mountain to get out. But as much as we see progression in our fitness and in our training and our bodies, we also see regression as a normal part of it, and it's something that we have to learn to accept. And I actually like to try and put a positive spin on it if possible. Don't get me wrong, it's not easy for me and I naturally default to that self-loathing and frustration, but I'm working hard to be much more relaxed about it and just to accept that I am where I am and nothing can change the past. And now all I can do is work on getting to where I want to be. Now that's not to say I'm in a bad position at all. I haven't lost that much strength. My body hasn't changed much realistically, and my mindset is still up and down as it always has been. But I was really enjoying where I was with my training, and I would love to get back to somewhere around there. Now you guys know me, this is not going to be some ultimate 2-week shred boot camp where I'm going super hard at it all the time. In fact, it's going to be very much the opposite. I actually want to try and show that you can start working to getting back to where you want to be without having to go completely hardcore at it, especially when you're coming out of an injury or an illness. It's important to just go slow and start building it up, and you can still achieve so much and get your strength back and your mindset back super quickly without having to go absolutely crazy. So in terms of my fitness, I want to feel functional and energetic again. So like when I wake up in the morning, I am ready to get out of bed. I could feel like I could go for a 5K run, or I feel like I could do a workout. In terms of my body, again, I don't have any specific goals or expectations. All I want to do is to feel the way I did before I started to get sick. And most importantly, my mindset. So I just want to get back to feeling like I'm making progress and I'm enjoying my training, and I get up and I have the energy to get through the day and I'm super productive and I'm enjoying my work and I'm enjoying my training and enjoying social events and all of that stuff that comes with it. So that's the goal with my mindset. I know there's going to be days where I feel like absolute rubbish. They happen anyway, but I'm just going to work on having a positive mindset and being easy on myself. Okay, so plan of action. Again, this may disappoint you a little bit, but I'm going to try and relax. So in terms of exercise, and you guys know this, I'm very intuitive with the way I train. There is no set routine, no split that I follow, or no program that I follow. I just kind of do what I want when I want. For me, it's more about moving my body, and I see progress regardless of whether I follow a routine or not. So for me, I'm just going to stick to that. I've gone from being at like my peak fitness to being completely sedentary for around 6 or 7 weeks. So now I'm just going to be easy on myself and slowly build up to where I was. The plan for nutrition is, again, to relax. So before this happened, like I said, I ate quite a lot of variety in what I was eating, and I'm definitely going to be doing that again because that's just what I enjoy. But in terms of when I eat or meal plans or anything like that, I don't follow a specific meal plan, and I try to eat intuitively. So I try to listen to my body. But I do also pay attention to what I'm eating. So I often get comments on Instagram or YouTube saying that, how do I stay the size I am if I eat things like pizza, or if I eat the baked goods that I make, which I've definitely slowed down on, which is probably a good thing. But the reason is because I still have in my head an idea of balance. So if I know that I'm gonna have a huge meal for dinner, like a pizza or a massive bowl of pasta with some garlic bread, and really, really enjoy it, then I'll just have a little bit less in the daytime. The one thing that I have been doing, and I've been doing this since lockdown started, and that's just because I haven't been hungry in the morning, is I usually don't eat till about midday. So I guess it's kind of, in a way, intermittent fasting, but I'm not doing it structured or super strict. So if I fancy something in the morning when I wake up, I will have it, but mainly I just don't really have an appetite until about midday. So really I'm having 2 main meals a day, so my brunch and my dinner, and then between that I just snack. So hopefully you'll see a lot of that throughout the video, but that's my plan with nutrition. All right, so hopefully that's given you a good idea of where I was, what's happened, where I want to go. Let's have a look at what I'm currently looking like. Okay, so again, I know that I don't look bad at all. So it's just about, again, just feeling myself and feeling like I'm getting back on track. So in terms of my body, you just saw it in that last clip, but we're also gonna have a quick chat about my skin. So as you guys know, I have psoriasis, and if you have an autoimmune disease, you tend to see it flare up a little bit when you've been ill or stressed or tired or all of the above. So for me, I've noticed that it started to flare up a little bit on my stomach. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see it. So there's these red marks here, and they've also started to come around on the back. There's a couple here on my armpit. I've got a couple here. Oh, they're not too obvious there on the side. I think there's a couple down here as well. And so I have been working quite hard on the things I know will help to manage that. So I'll probably make another video on psoriasis because people often ask me about it. I will one day, so let me know down below if you'd be interested in that, because it's been a long, tumultuous journey. So anyway, this is where we're at. Other than, to be honest with you, the main thing that I've noticed is I'm slightly bigger in terms of circumference, just slightly, but a lot of that initially was water weight, just because I'd been eating so much carbs, not training, not walking, not moving or anything like that. But really it's just that I feel a lot softer, like my muscle has just gone a little bit, and that is completely normal. If I've not been training, I've not been putting any stimulus on it, it's going to start to shrink, and I just feel soft, and like my loose skin on my stomach, for example, is just more noticeable for me. Like when I move, it's just a lot more noticeable than it is if I train, for example. So they're really my main goals, and my legs have definitely gotten a little bit bigger, but I hold all my weight in my legs. So that would be the main aim of the game with getting back aesthetically. But honestly, it's really not that bad. So hopefully we'll see some changes, but again, I don't have any major expectations. It's just about healthy mindset and more about how I feel rather than the way I necessarily look. So I'm going to do a 30-minute body weight video. So I often do these videos and show them on my Instagram stories, but I often get questions asking what videos they are or where I find them. So it's actually a subscription service on the internet by the company Aloe Yoga. So it's called Aloe Moves. I'll show you just one second. Let's tie my hair up. So they have basically yoga, stretching, mobility, and then body weight / calisthenics videos. So I find it really useful for those days where I just really don't feel like thinking. I just want to switch off, follow something else that someone else is doing, and not even have to think, basically. So I'll show you what they look like. So this is the website here, Aloe Moves, and yeah, they're really fantastic. They've got so many different videos. So I'm going to do this one today. This is by an instructor called Dylan Werner, and it's, well, you'll see it, it's like a body weight sort of body weight video. It's going to be about half an hour long, involves some stretching as well, which will be good for me at the moment. So we will get into it. So this is dinner. I've got chicken and tofu, just with pepper on it. No, like just fried. And then I've got salad and green beans with mushrooms and edamame beans, and then I put some oyster sauce on some garlic and I fried them as well, and some sesame seeds on top, and then some sriracha. Yum. Good morning, it is Saturday and we are in the Lake District. Today is going to be an exercise day, so we're actually going to go hiking. We've got a 17-mile hike planned, so yeah, should be good. Lots of carbohydrates. Haven't had any breakfast yet, but probably end up just going to having like something from the supermarket. And then snacks wise, or food wise, we have banana sarring. If you've never had it before, it's super good. And then we packed up some ham rolls. And then for dinner, we're gonna be having fish and chips. That's like the thing that we do. So we hike and then fish and chips in the evening. So that's the plan of action today. I'm gonna take you guys along with me. It should be fun. So I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me very well because it's quite windy up here, but we've just reached the top of our first Wainwright. So top of a hill, we took the steep way up, shorter but steep, and it's about, I don't know, 600 meters or something. So we're only about 2.5 kilometers into our walk. It's going to be like 20 something kilometers in total. So yeah, but feeling good, perfect weather for it. The sun's sort of out coming out over there. It's not raining, not too windy, not too hot, so it's perfect. Catch you in a bit. So we're like 14 kilometers in now, and we've just got to go up here, down and over to this one, and then we're going to come back down all the way around and then back down. So we're just over halfway. Okay. So the last week I came back from hiking, everything was fine, and that was on the Sunday we came back, and then as the week went on everything was okay. I can't even remember what the last thing I filmed was, but then a week ago today I got up in the morning, got out of bed, and I just couldn't move, and I knew what it was. I experienced something similar last year when I was in America, but basically I've got sciatica. So if you've never heard of it, it's quite common, but sciatica is basically when something happens, usually in your lower back, but it can be in your like piriformis area, but it impinges on your sciatic nerve, and you have two sciatic nerves that run down either side of your leg, so from your kind of lower back glute area, I think it is, or in the hip, and it goes all the way down into your feet, and it impinges on the nerve, causing a lot of pain. So if you've had it before, you'll know what it's like, but basically it can be a mixture of pains. It can be like a sharp tingling pain, a stabbing pain, it can be numbness, weakness you can get in your foot, your leg, or sometimes it even feels like someone's trickling cold icy water down your leg as well. So I'm kind of experiencing all of those things, but basically it's uncomfortable, well, it's pretty painful to stand. I can't stand upright completely. Sit is pretty painful. If I'm sitting on a chair, I can't drive at the moment. Lying, sleeping is basically non-existent at the moment. I think it's been 4 or 5 nights now of about 2 hours sleep a night. So if I'm looking semi put together today, it's just because I've got to the point where I felt like a zombie all week, that I needed to I needed to do my hair and have a shower and actually do something, and I went to the doctors as well, so it gave me a good excuse to actually get up and do something. So that's where I'm at. Basically I can't walk. I have not done obviously any exercise, so another setback, I guess we could say. I may be sitting here smiling at the moment, but basically my days are full of emotional roller coasters. Up at 4 in the morning crying on the floor in pain, and waking up thinking that maybe I've noticed it's improved and feeling good, but then being in agony when I'm trying to walk around and make coffee, for example, not being able to stand up right, and then that being frustrating. And really the reason it frustrates me the most is less so because I can't do my own training. That bothers me because I just can't be myself. It's not even training, it's just being able to go for a walk or just being active, just being outside. I can't really do any of that. Or it's super limited, but it's more just the frustration how it has an impact on my job. When you have a job that's so active and I really love my job, it really affects it. So I basically had to cancel my calls last week because I just couldn't even sit because I was in too much pain, and I was not with it mentally because it was taking away so much of my concentration. The pain was so strong that I literally couldn't think of anything else. So I knew that I couldn't talk to anyone, so I couldn't do any of my consultations, which was really sad. And then that adds on top, makes me feel rubbish and guilty and all those sort of things. So that's super frustrating, and I do spend about half my time crying or screaming in pain, and then half my time going, no, this is okay, it's fine. But obviously in terms of this video, it's going to be a huge setback. But I think it's a good thing in terms of, again, the whole idea of this video is getting back on track, not letting injury or illness or time off affect you mentally or physically. You know, there is going to be changes. There's times where you're just going to have to surrender to it and accept it. And ultimately, pain is pain, and it's frustrating to be in pain all the time, but you can deal with it. I'm super lucky in a lot of ways that this is a temporary issue. So I am trying to look on the positive side that, you know, it could be a lot worse, and there's a lot of people out there that have such worse conditions and that are chronic as well. So I'm trying to look on the positive side, but sometimes it just doesn't quite work. So in terms of getting back on track, I feel like this is going to be a major roadblock. Obviously training is non-existent. Eating wise, I'm doing whatever I fancy in a day. I'm not going crazy or anything, I'm just eating when I'm hungry. I just hope that it's just going to be a short-term thing, and that, you know, I will get better soon. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to split this now into a separate video, or even a couple more depending on how it goes, because there'll obviously be a healing time from this, and then we are going to be back at square one. Well, not square one, but we're going to be back pretty much at the beginning. So I'm still going to take you along. We're still going to have a look at what I'm eating. I'll show you the recovery process. I will tell you what the physio said and all that sort of stuff. I'm sure there's plenty of you guys that have experienced sciatica before. Like I say, it's super common, unfortunately. So let's try and think positively. I know that's not going to happen all the time, but we've got to try our best. And I've got a lot to be doing in the next month, so I got to get better. But yeah, I'm glad that you guys are here. I can take you along for the ride. I'm not going to just show you the good stuff. I will show you the rubbish stuff too, because I'm definitely experiencing a lot of it at the moment. It's completely normal if you're suffering from injury, if it impacts on your life, if you've been ill, anything like that. I know you guys experience it because I talk to you about it all the time. You know, sometimes you're just going to feel bad, and it's fine. Like, you can feel bad, you can wallow in that self-pity pit for a little while. It's just not staying there permanently. You know, you've got to keep pushing forward and have that positive mindset, and hope that everything will be fine, and it will be. So on that note, I'm going to go and try and make some boba tea, or like pearl milk tea. I saw a picture of it the other day I think on Instagram, and it reminded me, I've used to drink it loads in Melbourne, and it reminded me of it. So I ordered some pearls on Amazon, and they arrived, and we are going to go and try and make tea. Wish me luck, this could be interesting.